I have to do like a countdown. I can't just like start. I don't know what's up with me about that. I can't just like get into it. Pablo, count me down.
Oh.
3, 2, 1.
So, here we go.
How you all feel tonight?
Tech Heads back once again after another break, because we had a break and then we came back and then we took another break, but you know, that's just how it goes. That's life. Apologies for the radio silence. That's just how it goes sometimes. We just have, you know, not the biggest window for recording, but you know, when something comes up within that window of recording, you know, it's like, okay, well, I guess we'll do it next week, and then we'll do it the week after, and you know, it's whatever. So we apologize, but we hope you can still stay tuned in when we do upload and record and join us, because we like to have a fun time and talk about nerdy stuff. So welcome back, and hello again, Anna. Long time no see.
Hey, Victor. Hey, everyone. Yeah, it's been a little break. I think we're both pretty busy, but I feel like also in the summer, and especially now compared to last summer, everybody has a chance to go out and do more stuff. So, you know, it was nice to have a little break too. So, but it's nice to be back. Excited for today.
Oh, very excited. So now that we're talking to each other after I think it's been like, what, 2 or 3 weeks at least. How has everything been? Like, how was school? I know school's done, but like, how was it, I guess? How was school? How is work going? Like, tell me everything. What's going on?
Yeah. So, yeah, I'm headed into my final semester of my computer science degree, which is just crazy to say because I remember being, like fall 2019. I was like, oh my God, I still have such a long way to go. Every time I ran like a degree audit and I saw that list of courses that I still had to take, it was just, so scary and a bit, I don't know, daunting. But here we are, 2 classes to go and I'll be done. So yeah, the courses I took over the summer were definitely challenging, but happy to, have wrap that up. One of them was like an independent research, and the other was a Python course that we had like a big, group project. It was like a term long group project. And our team came through. It was, pretty solid and built from scratch, took a lot of effort and a lot of meetings. And yeah, it's it was, I feel like we managed to climb that mountain, thank God. Um, and yeah, with work, a lot of changes too, but it's been good. I've been coding as much as I possibly can, between JavaScript and Python. That's what I've been working on. And yeah, I think
Wow.
that's pretty much it. How about you?
Kind of same old, except just work has been a little busier than usual. I think for us, Q3 is like notoriously busy usually. And this is my first
Gotcha.
Q3 with my company, so
Mhm.
experiencing that firsthand, and it's been quite a bit. But I'm still able to fit in a couple, like, video game breaks in between a couple little tasks. But it's been nice.
That's good.
Yeah, it's been good. I'm hoping to take some time off pretty soon. Hope
Mhm.
to go down to California, see some people, and take a couple days off. But then like maybe work a couple days while I'm there, since it's really not that big of a deal to just log on wherever I am.
Yeah,
So we'll see. I don't know.
right.
Um, Other than that, it's just been like nothing else. That's it. I'm actually. Oh, I forgot about this. I was actually on the phone with an admissions counselor at a school out here to talk to them about enrolling in their computer science program.
Ooh, that sounds awesome.
Yeah, it's something I'm thinking about. I don't know. I'm still trying to figure out how much it would be, because I
Mhm.
haven't. Um, I don't know. Like, colleges make it really hard to, like, with checking the credits that they're going to receive from your previous school.
Mm-hmm.
So until I have a definitive number of credits I already have that they'll accept at least, because I already know how many credits I have. Like I would basically be like, I would have a year left to do if I just transferred to the school out here, which would be awesome. But I don't know, just like I gotta figure out how to see like how many credits I need to finish, because they do have a portal online to check, but it's not the most user friendly. So I haven't been able to really verify anything, and I don't know. That's kind of what I have going on. It's just something I'm thinking about, because it would be a really good price for what it is. Because luckily my previous program had a lot of the same classes as computer science people. So yeah, just me enrolling, I would have my associates, and then I would have my like the third year down for the most part, if everything goes according to plan. So we'll see.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, school, it's a big commitment. And when you like first look at the list of classes that you're going to have to take, like I said, it really looks like it's it's a lot of work. I mean, it is, but I think ultimately you just have to, see it for what it is. Like, keep your eye on the sense of accomplishment that you're going to get at the end. And I highly recommend it. I mean, I've learned so much, from this, like so much more confident in looking at anything software related, compared to when I finished the boot camp, because the boot camp was 6 months. And yes, I learned a lot, but I feel like, that I think just like it was just touching the surface of everything. So yeah, it's just, I think it's like, building up that confidence to really go out there and be able to like, prove that you're capable of really learning any kind of technology. Cause I mean, that's what this, this career path really means, is being able to, learn and teach yourself as well. Cause, once you're done with school, you're not going to have like a professor there. Oh, hey, this is the assignment, you're going to have to learn this framework or this language or whatever, this stack. You're just going to have to, like, your boss is going to tell you, learn this, because we need to, this is the direction that we're going, and you have to do it. So, well,
to give that some context also on my part, I have a manager, and he doesn't code. He doesn't really know too much about that. Like, he knows a little bit, but he's not like somebody who's going to tell you like, oh, no problem, like, let me teach you how to do this. Like, you just have to kind of know it, which, like, hopefully you've gone through some sort of good training or tutorials or education, like whatever it took for you to learn everything. But yeah, unfortunately, like that, like you said, that's not how the workplace usually is. Like, they're not going to be like, oh, let me just set aside my entire day and teach you whatever. So
right, exactly.
And also, if your manager's in the UK like mine, you have an hour with them maybe, because it's like an 8-hour difference. So
there you go. It says it all. Like, it's it's a lot of, I think, it's learning how to juggle autonomy and but also not being too independent, that I think you would isolate yourself, and you would feel scared to ask for help. It's just like finding that happy medium about being independent and autonomous, but also working with the team, especially because, in this line of work, I think that it's a privilege, being able to work from home, being able to work remote. But it comes at a price. It's a lot of dedication, a lot of like long hours, and slamming your head on the keyboard sometimes, but it pays off. It's not for everybody, but I feel like I found my calling. I couldn't see myself doing anything else. And this degree, I think it just proved it to me that there were a lot of struggles, but you just have to power through, just like anything else, So
yeah.
But yeah, if you decide to go to school, I'd be happy to help out and give you some tips.
I'm gonna need it, that's for sure, because I am so rusty on just learning, I think, in general, especially jumping back in college. Like, oh my god,
the homework is the worst part, honestly. Like, watching lectures is not even that bad because you definitely take away something. I mean, if you're going to a good program, there's a very good chance you're going to be taught by someone that has done it for a long time and has really good advice, and they know what they're talking about. But the homework is like double the time. That's why, I say that it's a big commitment when you go back to school, because essentially it's like having another full-time gig.
Oh
Like
yeah.
you're putting in 30 to 40 hours a week. If you were taking like, I don't know, 3, 4 computer science courses, geez, God bless you, because I was getting by taking like 2 classes every term and I was sweating like, between work and so I think, I just say it like it is. It's not to like discourage anybody. You're just keeping an eye on the prize. Like
Yeah.
it pays off and it goes by so fast, honestly. Like it's a lot of work, but it really does go by super fast.
It's funny because like I'm finally getting over the stress of having homework because like I don't know, I've always carried that because 18, what is it, 12, what did I do, 15 years of education, I guess. 15 years of education is a little bit of trauma in terms of homework because like at least for me, because like even now, not as much as maybe a year or two before, but I would still like go to bed and then be like, oh my God, do I have homework due? Like just the stress of like, oh my God, I didn't do my homework today and it's due tomorrow.
Yeah.
And then
Right.
I would have to remind myself like, no, you're not in high school or college anymore. You're good. So it would be really funny to see what happens if I do re-enter the education world, if I'm going to be like too like lax about it or if I'm going to be like hyper. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like hyper attentive to the homework and to the assignments. So I don't know. But I don't know. I got really excited looking at the course outlines. So I think that's a pretty good sign because I saw like the classes and I was like, oh, no way. They have this, they have that. So I think it's going to be a good decision if I do decide to go through with it. And like I said, I'm just waiting to see how much it's going to cost and how many credits I'm going to have to actually finish up and how much they're going to receive. So we'll see.
Yeah. Keep me posted. That's gonna be awesome to have, a fellow CS student. I am taking databases this semester and oh my God.
In what capacity are you guys going over databases? Is it like
well, I think that we're mainly talking about relational databases. And we're gonna be working with Oracle server or SQL Server, I think. So yeah, it's we're going to be talking about a lot of different types of databases, but I think primarily SQL like relational. So SQL as an example. So yeah, I think this class is supposed to be one of the most challenging of the of the degree. Yeah,
I could see that. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think hopefully I will recognize or I'll feel, rather at ease in the beginning at least, with maybe some of the terminology and because I've worked with our data architect, at my current job. So hopefully, some of those things will help.
You sound like you're not going to do well. I think you're going to literally be top of the class.
Oh, please.
Like no, you're good with data. Like you know exactly how tables and like data like okay, English. I have no doubt in you whatsoever.
Oh, thank you. I'm going in with like a good spirits. Obviously, like I just coming off a 2-week break and knowing that this is the last semester for this degree is like an added I think energy boost to just get it done. So I'm just excited to get to it and I don't know, hope for the best. Obviously, I have to apply myself, but it's 16 weeks and I'm done. So that's pretty much all I really care about.
I'm so happy for you. That's going to be amazing.
Thank you.
Are you going to walk?
I think so. I think that UF I think that they did restart the graduation ceremonies. I don't know if it was in this spring, but I'm pretty sure that they're having it. I think there are changes. Obviously, I don't think that you're allowed to bring as many people as you want anymore. But I am very much looking forward to it. Otherwise, I have to say I'm going to be a little upset. But then we can just like throw a party, with a few friends and family here at home. But as far as I know, yes, I think that they are having these ceremonies. So
I hope I can watch a live stream or something.
Yeah, I'll let you know. That's for sure.
Yeah, that'd be amazing. I hope to have a graduation party one day.
I think I'm gonna take one of those, those things that people pop for their gender reveal.
Oh, yeah. What would you do though?
When I walked out on the stage, I'm just gonna take one of those things and like pop it myself, celebrate myself because I put myself through this degree. I would like to thank myself. No, that's super selfish. No, it's not just me.
I thought you meant like, because at a gender reveal party, when they pop those, it's either blue or green. So I thought you were going to do one where it's like graduated or not graduated.
Yeah, right. No. It was just, I'm not really sure like how they're doing it. I know that I have to start looking into like the graduation checklist to make sure that I am in good standing and, finish up anything that I need to by the deadlines. But as I find out more, I know that it's sometime in mid-December that I should be graduating. So fingers crossed that I pass the classes that I'm taking now, because obviously, that the graduation is contingent on that, but I think I should.
Great. What should we talk about first? Should we go into Vue, or did you want to go into the CSAM stuff, or?
Oh, yes. Okay. I mean, let's touch on that for a little bit since, it was like a hot topic for the week.
Yeah.
I think it was this week, right? That, like the whole controversy behind Apple's, child pornography scanning technology, like came out, like the news that they are going to be implementing that, or that they already have, like a version installed in their iOSs. And it was, is it really surprising? I think that it's just a bit hypocritical of them when they still have like TV ads that say, we protect your privacy, and I mean, if that policy is in the cornerstone of surveillance, I don't know what is. So it's obviously I understand, it's very sick that, people still do that. And, it's a crime, obviously, but there are people that don't do that. So it's that whole, we're doing it in the name of the kids or in the name of, our like, our citizens, and like we're trying to catch the bad guys, so the good guys have to pay to, it's that whole thing. But I know that they've been kind of like quiet or going around in circles about what it really does. But it's just super simple. Like it literally scans like your images, and alerts the government if you have anything suspicious on your phone, which is just crazy. Like I don't know. How do you feel about it?
Yeah. I guess before I even say anything, maybe we should mention, like, since we're podcasters, I think we should just say very, very clearly that in no environment or in any circumstance whatsoever should underage sexually explicit content exist. Like, clearly that just, it shouldn't happen.
Absolutely.
But
yeah.
Well, actually, okay, maybe we should kind of, for the people who don't really understand or whatever, because I'm kind of one of them, the whole extent of what's going on and like how it works. But as you said, like, yeah, they're scanning your images.
Right.
So what's involved is like they take hashes of known images prior to being uploaded to the cloud, and then they compared those hashes to other hashes that are stored in a server with a lot of known CSAM content and hashes, with, you know, like some cryptographic technology or whatever. And yeah, they just match it and see, or they see if it matches. Basically, they don't match it intentionally, because, like, you know, you could take a picture of anything and probably find something really weird about it. But yeah, but basically, if there is a solid match, there's a voucher, I think, that's uploaded to iCloud Photos, which eventually goes to a real life person who actually has to assess the situation and see whether or not the content is deemed, you know, CSAM. And I don't know, like for the person with that job, or people with that job, like, oh my God, that's a heavy job.
Oh yeah.
Because I mean, you can't always have an algorithm decide on that stuff, because eventually, yeah, like you said, it gets reported somewhere. It's either the authorities or like they're partners of the authorities or whatever. And it will be reported. So, but with that being said, I don't know. I am a little iffy. It seems a little iffy to me. Like, yeah, it's a win, I guess, for humanity, because it seems like logically, like, okay, yeah, we need less of this in our lives. But
yeah,
at the same time, yeah, it is very hypocritical, because, like you said, like, all they are about is privacy, but it's a loss for privacy.
Exactly. Yeah. I think, you know, it's two very serious social problems there, you know. Obviously, like you said, I'm 100% with you in the sense of it's wrong. First of all, you know, there's so many words to describe how serious it is. And, you know, ultimately it's a crime, but also, you know, infringing your privacy should also be a crime.
Yeah.
So it's so tough, because, you know, it's probably one of those, you know, a difficult decision to make, but we have to go with, you know, the one that I guess weighs the most.
Yeah.
Because obviously, you know, it's a crime against children and it's atrocious, you know. So yes, you have to catch those people. And there are plenty of them still around, but then, you know, other people are like, you know, you have your other stuff on your phone. I mean, what if it's a picture of your, you know, your baby, like in the bath or something? I mean, I don't know. Like you said, I guess that's why you have like a pair of like human eyes there, you know, to vet it and really make a decision on whether, you know, that needs to be reported or not.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's still super, I think, it's very unclear, like what they're going to turn this into. But ultimately, I think that, you know, it's just like another step towards really like breaking the glass there, that we don't have privacy anymore, like no matter what, you know. Like, I mean, we already knew by using an Apple iPhone, you're agreeing to their terms and conditions. So like anything that you do with that device, you know, they are aware of. But obviously it's like, okay, well, now what? What else can you guys do? Like, I mean, you already know that like, you know, apps listen to you, or I don't know, the camera turns on for some of them. I don't know. It's kind of crazy. Like this whole conversation that we're talking about right now, I have an iPhone. It's probably being listened to. So
my phone is on my phone stand right now, just staring at me. And it's probably like calculating how it's going to murder me tonight, because we're talking about this.
Right.
But I think one thing that should be worth mentioning is that Google has had sort of the same ideology since, I don't know, maybe like late 2000s, I think. They had something similar roll out, I remember. So this isn't like groundbreaking, crazy new thinking.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Right.
it is really weird. Also, so in like the everyday world, kind of what this would look like if this kind of goes to the point where everybody's phone is on this sort of setup. An example, sort of use case, I guess is what I'm trying to get at, is would be if somebody like sent you a really messed up picture that's really like CSAM and explicit. Like I mentioned before, the whole hashing matching would happen. But this pop-up window, I think, pops up and it would say to the user like, hey, this it's kind of like Instagram. It would say like, hey, this is like kind of explicit. Like if it's like a kid's iPod or whatever, and the parents put on this restriction, maybe there's like this little pop-up window and it just says like, hey, there's some explicit stuff behind this. Are you sure you even want to like look at it? And then I think there's a second window and it's like, your parents want to keep you safe. Are you positive? And then like you can open it and it's like,
Yeah.
and then the parents know. Like, so if the kid opened that photo, the parents are notified that the kid did. So it's just another level of like that sort of parental tracking, I guess, as well. Which I don't know, it sounding like an old grump, I guess. It's like, how much more tracking do they need? But I mean, I guess it's all relative. They need more for the amount of technology being developed as years go by. So it's like, yeah, like of course you need more, but like that's only because there's more things being developed and like more technology that these kids are using. So like, you know, you want the relative amount of authority and tracking on them that you maybe had when it was only Life 360 around to like see where people were. So I don't know, it's weird.
Yeah, and I think you brought up like a very good point. Something I hadn't considered before is that, you know, every like interaction that we already have with devices, it's ultimately, I think companies are trying to build a profile for that human behind the device to understand human behavior. You know, like what is this person most interested in? How can we market something to, you know, to them? Like how can we keep them engaged? And by having access to your images, like you can build a very good profile, a very good idea of what that person is like. You know, you can see images of their homes, you can see, you know, what they're like, what kind of places they like to visit. You know, it's just like there's so much I think that goes into that. So it could be that, you know, this is like a, you know, like a their, it's not an excuse. Their purpose for this, you know, the release of this tool or this feature, or this technology, but also with ulterior motives behind the scenes too. Because I mean, Apple is not a $1 trillion company because they're trying to, you know, make the world a better place. I don't think that that's what they're about. So, again, it kind of goes back to the whole hypocrisy. Sorry, Apple, but I gotta call you out on that.
Have you ever played Watch Dogs, or have you heard of Watch Dogs?
I have, yeah.
Okay. Well,
what is that though? I've heard it. That's a game, right?
Yeah. This is Watch Dogs.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Yeah. It's basically like think like GTA, but with hackers instead. Not as much like explosions and like, I don't know. There's violence, sure, but it's not like comical in that sense. I don't know. GTA is kind of more of a funny sort of violent game, to me at least. Anyway, so the third Watch Dogs, it's Watch Dogs Legion, and it takes place in London. And I don't remember what year it is. It's like relatively near future, like maybe 30, 40 years in the future. And it's like drones flying everywhere. There's these drones with cameras on them that are run by this like UK government sort of thing called Albion. So everybody's like being surveillanced. There's cameras in everybody's houses, and like it's like a crazy world because it doesn't look that like impossible to exist one day. And it's a little like, I don't know, like it's not a scary game at all, but it's scary that like it really looks like that could happen one day. Like, I mean, the cool part is like, okay, like all these cars drive themselves, they're all electric, like that's great. But like, yeah, there is like, it's a shock because we're in this time frame, so it's not that big of a deal to us. It's like, whatever, we just have to deal with it. But yeah, just like looking at the near future, how like it could be that we live in this world where there's actual robot cops and like robot drones with like weaponry and like the ability to arrest you. It's like, whoa, it's terrifying. And like the whole point of the game is to kind of like throw it down and be like, like we won't stand for this. So I don't know, it's weird. It's I mean, it's just supposed to be a video game, like who cares? But like, I don't know, it really does make you think.
Gotcha. That sounds interesting.
Yeah.
Maybe one day. I don't know. Not in a good way. I'm not saying, oh yeah, hopefully one day, but I don't know. God knows
besides
what's
that,
gonna happen.
Besides that, it's the game is great. I love playing it. It's beautiful. A lot of people don't like it for some reason, but I've always loved Watch Dogs, and it makes me want to actually go to London. I've never really wanted to until I played the game. It just looks like a really cool place.
Oh, I've always wanted to go to the UK, especially London. Like seems to be a really cool city. I've heard really good things.
Yeah, I've actually flown to London, but I had a layover, so I didn't leave the airport.
Gotcha.
But yeah, the UK, I definitely want to see more of it. That's for sure. Okay, that's probably enough CSAM talk. Let us know what you guys think, because we don't really know what's going on. But who knows? It could just be a couple of years down the road. We'll be like, whatever. They scan everything. Who cares? So like, I don't know. It's gonna be weird. So, I think the real meat of today's episode is Vue.
Vue.
For the listeners, Anna just did a massive cough.
I muted myself.
Listen, Anna, just a cough is a microcosm of more serious things. You could have any sort of disease. So
we're thousands of miles away from each other, but it's still a concern.
It's not impossible.
No, it's not. You never know.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Vue. I'm pretty excited. We were discussing a few tutorials that we looked into individually, but let's get into it. I'm excited.
Yeah. Well, actually, before we even do that, can we cut to future me, do the Batman theme song where he goes like to the Batmobile, like that sort of thing. Can we do a bathroom break real quick?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, and then we'll get into Vue. So it's gonna be it's gonna do the like to the Batmobile. Okay, so Vue.js. Vue is a JavaScript framework, just like React or Angular, any of those guys. But not the only difference, but one of the huge main differences is that it wasn't built by Google. It wasn't built by Facebook. It was built by one guy. It was built by one guy named Evan You. And he basically worked on it as a side project while he worked at Google. And then he also worked for Meteor. I don't know if that's within Google. I don't know if that's a separate thing. I can't remember. But all I know is that Vue was his side project while he was working full time as a developer at Google. And eventually, like, he started getting a little more traction with people using it, and lots of people realized that it was actually more intuitive than React and Angular from the get-go. So it just kind of took off at some point, and I think one of the huge reasons that it did also is because he is a native Chinese speaker. So not only did he have beautiful English docs that people could just any developer at any level could just like pick up on it and understand it, but it was really well translated into Chinese, where it's hard to do that with technical things because there's just some words that don't translate well in the context of web development. So like bindings and scope, like that would be a little hard for somebody to just translate into Chinese. So luckily he was able to kind of reword some things because he's native Chinese speaker and like make it a little more understandable so that people in China could understand it. And another cool thing about it was that a lot of Chinese people, they really looked up to him as like a hero because in the world of web development, they didn't really have a singular guy to look to be like, oh, he created that algorithm or he created like this cool web app. Like there really wasn't too much of that. So when he was eventually going to do talks in China, like he was literally like signing autographs and getting pictures with people like as if he was literally a celebrity. So it was like,
wow,
you know, you had the whole fan base of China backing you. So that really, really helped him as well. But he also, you know, had a really just solid group of people who kind of joined the team because they were seeing it all over GitHub and people starting to use it again. And then he also, I think he really emphasized like the community forums and having people really just jump in and like help people if they needed it. And he actually hired at least one guy just because he was really responsive on the forum. Like he became full-time on the Vue team because he saw like how much he understood it and like was able to help other people who were in the same situations that he was in. So he eventually just became like core team, which is so crazy. I love that. And I think because he was also in the UK, he was able to like, you know, the company's awake for a longer amount of time instead of just like one dude in wherever he was, New York, I think. Just like one guy, you know, missing 12 hours or I don't know, 16 hours of the day. So it started out like super humble, and I'm really impressed that he was able to do that because he made like a beautiful framework that I really enjoy using when I do use it, but I don't use it as much because I don't really use it at work. So by the end of the day, I don't really do too much for fun as far as development goes. But in my experience, I've had I think 2 interviews where they wanted me to use Vue to like make something. Like for instance, like one interview, and this has happened a couple of times, not always with Vue, but at least one time with Vue, where they gave me a couple images of what they wanted the web page to look like, and it was the built web page already, but they wanted to see if I could do it just looking at it by eye with Vue because they use Vue. So that was like my interview sort of thing. And that implored me to like actually learn it because I'd never used it before. And I really enjoyed learning it. I thought it was really great to get down and like, I don't know, just work things out. Some things it made more sense than when I used React maybe. I never used Angular, so I can't speak for that. But yeah, I really enjoyed learning it for sure. Do you want to add anything to that?
Yeah. I first of all, I think that was very cool background and story, you know, about how it came about. And this was, you know, such an interesting idea that I'm glad that it really got some traction, like you said, you know, and it's turned into a widely used framework along with the other, you know, more, I think, more established ones. But Vue has been around for a little while now. So you have a lot of, you know, a lot of big companies that do use it. So
I think 2015 is when it got big. 2014, 2015. So like it's pretty, in terms of that sort of stuff, it's pretty recent, I think. And and that was, I mean, I think that was 1.0 when it was 2015. So like he had versions out before 1.0, but
I from like, you know, I've been meaning, I think we've talked about it too. I've been meaning to learn it. And then last night I just, you know, got into like, I don't know, I just kind of rode that wave. I wanted to stay up late, you know, programming. So I was like, well, I might as well learn, something that I think I could use in the future. So I went through,
Not cramming for the podcast at all.
Yes, exactly. So I was learning a little, watching a little tutorial there on how to use Vue and Tailwind CSS. So that was pretty neat. And yeah, I couldn't agree more with some other comments that I've heard about Vue in comparison to React and Angular, is that the learning curve seems to be a lot not as bad as, with React and Angular. It's very easy to pick it up. Once you create your project, everything is so neatly organized, and it's super straightforward, like to create your components, your views, and how to import your components into your views, that kind of stuff, how to render. Like that's what I did. Basically, I was fetching data from an API, a very, it almost looked a bit messy, not messy, but like a very, nested JSON object, and how to, how to iterate through all of that to render it on the front end. So yeah, just, with a simple, like less than an hour tutorial, I was able to follow along and then customize my app, to what I wanted it to look like. So yeah, it was very cool. I like Vue a lot in comparison to like you. I haven't worked with Angular, but I've worked with React before, and React was a lot more intimidating than my experience with Vue. So
what kind of got me to really like it was the workflow. I mean, like other like aspects of the JavaScript world, they have this sort of workflow, but I think I liked it because like if you're making something like a budget app, or like you're making like a Twitter clone or whatever, like whatever you want to think of, it doesn't really matter, but it's you could think of every little thing within this web app or whatever you're making as being built on components, and components are just like the sections of the page or subsections where there's buttons and like places to display data, essentially. So how you can like go about making something with Vue is like you can just logically like work on each separate component individually, with a template section where like the HTML would go, and then you would have like a JavaScript section, and then a styling section where like you can actually scope the style so that it only affects that single component. So then at the end of it all, you just organize all of these components in your file, and of course, like if all goes according to plan, like you kind of have like your project already set up. But I think the components, like each component is like a .vue extension, and I don't know. When I was first using it, I was using the CLI, so like I skipped the CDN aspect of it immediately. I just like went straight into the nitty gritty of it and installing it. And I don't know, I was kind of new to the whole components thing. I think I was also still in the boot camp when I applied to this job, which may have not been the smartest thing, but I was like just down to learn like how interviews go and whatnot. But I don't know, I quickly kind of caught on. I was like, okay, I see what's going on here. Like you just make this, you make this, you make this, you put it all together, you see what happens. And I don't know, I thought it was really cool. And then I just didn't really use it as much afterwards because I wasn't building too much for fun. But my next thing that I want to do is redo my my website because it's still kind of broken. So I'm thinking just starting from scratch might help. And I think I'm going to use Vue for.
Same.
I'm going to do like a Maven stack, I think.
Yes, absolutely. I'm with you 100%. I've been like, I think I even removed my portfolio link from my resume and like LinkedIn because I don't really have anything to show for. So, I just use like my GitHub repository, LinkedIn, and all that stuff. So I definitely want to use Vue. I think that I would feel a lot more comfortable and building something with it and customizing it to exactly how I want it to be. So it would be, another like good opportunity to get really good at it. So I think that is definitely the way I want to go. I mean, nothing wrong with React. I mean, I still think that like, React is like a behemoth. Like there's so many jobs out there, it's really like, it's hard to say that it's ever going to go away. So, it's worth knowing how to use React as well. I think I want to have like a good experience, when I'm building, especially like a portfolio where it's personal and I can choose whatever stack I want to use. So I'd probably go with Vue as well.
Yeah. Oh, another thing maybe worth mentioning. If you don't maybe hear somebody say component, they might say SFC, which is single file components. Just throwing that out there. I don't know. It's just a thing that people will kind of say, like, well, what did you say? I don't know what that means. I don't know. Just wanted to throw that out there. SFC is single file component. That's like the whole workflow.
Yeah, exactly.
But you can't use the SFCs if you're using the CDN, another acronym of Vue, which is essentially not downloading it. You're just like linking it into the file. Pretty common for things you're just like kind of utilizing very on a lightweight level. Yeah, just thought I'd mention that. Do you have anything technical you wanted to talk about as far as Vue goes and like?
Yeah. So yesterday when I started, I was like, I don't even know if I have Vue installed, but I do have npm. So it's honestly, if you go to the Google the Vue's documentation, one way to install, the Vue CLI to make your life much easier about creating any Vue projects in the future is just running npm install -g for global at Vue /CLI. Just run that command. It's going to install the Vue CLI in your computer and your local machine, and then all you have to do after that is, after it's done, installing everything, all the dependencies and all of it, you just run the command Vue create, and then whatever project name you want to select, and that will then render your boilerplate code. It will install your node modules. It will give you a public folder where you have your index.html. It will also create a source folder where you have your assets, components, router, and views subfolders, and that's where you're going to have the components, the views, and you're going to see that there are a lot of those files end in that extension, like you said, .vue. So it made my life much easier, since I was using VS Code, to install one of the extensions, to help with formatting and all of it, to recognize that particular file extension. And and then honestly, once you start to add a few things to your components and your views, I mean, even to just, I mean, obviously before you even edit anything, I would say install the CLI, create your project, and then just go to your directory of the project that you just created and run npm run serve, and then visit it's usually localhost 8080, the server address, for you to check that the page is rendering, and then you can edit from there. Just leave your server running, and it's going to compile any changes, so it's in real time, and then you can see all the changes on the browser, based on what you're adjusting. So yeah, that's pretty much how the setup goes, really.
Guys, it's actually so easy that while she was explaining that, my dog was able to follow along and do it on his computer. So now my dog is working on his Vue project as we speak. So good for him.
Hello. Yeah, it's really, really super simple. I think I mean, the one time I worked with React, our stack was Django React. So man, just getting everything running, like connecting the front end to the back. Obviously, in this case, we're just talking about, the front end. This is just the front end framework. But I felt like I had to research a lot more. This one was like, a matter of seconds or like a minute. You install the CLI, you create your project, npm run serve. It's already rendering on the browser, and you can start making your changes. So I decided to follow along with that one tutorial that used the Tailwind CSS, which is another beautiful CSS framework that you can use. So obviously for that, after I I created my project, I did npm install Tailwind. So, I could use that as the styling framework, as the CSS. And yeah, that was pretty much it. So yeah, there are a lot of tutorials out there to help out, but as a first encounter, it's really not as intimidating as maybe Angular or React.
Yeah. Well, and speaking of databases for your class, Vue also, I don't know if it always does. I think you can really leave it out if you want to, but it can ship with Laravel if you want it to, and they kind of work hand in hand together. You can have your PHP framework just installed along with Vue, and it's not too hard to get everything all connected. It comes with like that file. I remember it has that what is it? I don't remember what env file.
Oh, right, yeah.
Where it has like your Amazon Web Services. It has like your the email thing you can set up for the ports if you want that too.
Yeah.
And it had like a whole template for every possible thing you could connect. So, and then fire it up with MySQL or whatever, and I think it's just a great little workflow. You can get going with whatever you want to build, and it's definitely in demand skills. So hop on it.
Right. Yeah. And like you said, even the obviously this is just one portion if of the Maven stack, but that's another way to go. That's a legit experience building a full stack web app, by using instead of Mern, you're just switching the React for Vue, but you're gonna have your Mongo, Express, and Node. Did I miss one?
No?
Mongo, Express. Oh yeah, that's right.
Well,
okay, yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say that V is Vue, but I mean that goes without saying. That's our episode, so.
Yeah, so good practice. I highly recommend it. It's fun too. It's I think when I was building this little project, I was up until a little late, but honestly, the tutorial I watched really got me going, and I didn't even have to Google as much. I wasn't really running into compiling problems. And I love how fast any changes that you make to your .vue files, whether it's the home or your views or your components, how fast it renders on the browser. It's it's pretty neat. I really like it.
Woo-hoo. All right, guys, we'll get out there and go make something, please.
Yes.
And then maybe if we ever get a Discord going, we can all share our projects and be a little help center also.
Yes. Yeah. Honestly, this one that I started, I hope it doesn't end up as a few projects that I've worked on in the past that I kind of just forgot about it and dropped it. I really want to keep building on this one, making it into something cool. Especially because I decided to go with the Formula One API, which is open source. It's it's free and available for everyone. So it's pretty cool that I get to use that, and it's something that sparks my interest. So I definitely want to keep contributing to this one and adding to it. So yeah, TBD. Hopefully we'll talk about it again in a couple months, and I'll have more updates.
Yeah. Well, I gotta make something soon too. I mean, like I said, I think my next thing will be to just redo my portfolio site again. So we'll see.
Right. Yeah,
Yeah.
but that's all I got for Vue.
Same. Should we hop into recommendations?
Yeah, you go first because I feel like I gave mine away.
Okay. Well, I think mine is just because I'm such a podcast listener. I love like just while I'm working, I put on whatever, and I always hear the same ads from everybody. So I think at some point I got kind of brainwashed into buying this thing, but I did, and I don't regret it. Um, and I like their not their tagline, but like most podcasters will kind of present it with the same first kind of catcher sentence. They'll say, "Do you have a butthole?" And if you listen to podcasts, you already know what I'm about to present. But I got a Tushy.
What is that?
It's a bidet that you can put on your toilet.
No way.
Yeah, it's amazing, and
Really?
you're gonna save money on toilet paper. You're gonna spend less time in the bathroom probably. You're gonna spend more time with people you love. It's great. I love it. It's amazing. There's different versions of them out there. I got like the newest one, but I couldn't get the one where you can control the temperature of the water because I can't connect it to my sink or like the sink hose, I guess.
Yeah.
So I just got the normal new one, and yeah, even Pablo uses it. He loves it.
he's raving about it. He's barking about it.
Oh yeah.
It's so cool that you said that because in South America, I mean, I was raised there. It was pretty common to see bidets, but I feel like that's not really a thing here in the US. I mean, I don't know. Like, I mean, I've seen some homes that have it, but I feel like it's way more rare than in other places. So that's really cool. I'll check it. I'll check them out. I don't think I had heard of Tushy.
Oh, they're like reasonably priced. It's worth it. 1000%.
It's a win-win.
Mm-hmm.
Well, actually, I do have a recommendation. So I think I was telling you earlier, but I was watching Forrest Knight's YouTube videos. I really like that guy. His videos are pretty cool, and he talks about not just software but also hardware. And I saw that he was sponsored by this company called privacy.com. And I thought that it was really like a very cool premise. So what they do is you can sign up for their service and you can generate digital credit cards. So let's say you want to sign up for like a trial of Peacock TV to like watch one of their series or whatever. And obviously like most of the trials say, okay, you get to watch this for like a week, and then we will charge you after a week. So we need a credit card to store it and on file. Otherwise, you need to cancel it. So what this company does is you can generate your credit cards, and you can put like the minimum is like a dollar, into that credit card. And then you don't really like, even if you forget, let's say that, Peacock's subscription is like $9.99 or whatever. When they try to run your card after that week, obviously it's not going to go through because you don't have enough money on that card. But you have, like you're not giving them your actual, like your physical, your actual bank details. So you're going through privacy.com. They're generating a digital credit card. So like whenever you want to sign up for, a one-time purchase or like a free trial, all you have to do is generate like a new credit card on privacy.com, and you don't really have to, like you just do it one time and forget about it. Like you don't have to worry about going into that site and canceling your free trial before they charge your card. So I thought that was a really good idea. I was meaning to check them out to see, how much that is. And I think if you use his link too, you get like $5. So yeah.
Oh, so do you pay for it? You pay for the service?
Yeah, I think you do. I didn't look into like the pricing for the service itself, but you go in and you have to add your credit card once, but then you can create, I think, as many digital credit cards through them and with whatever balance you want, but you only need to add like your bank details on their account like once. So instead of like entering like your yeah, like you can even, assign I think the names or categories. So like the digital credit card. So let's say you want to have one for groceries, or another one for, shopping, or another one for like digital services. Like, so like where your money is going. It's kind of like easier to control instead of
Mm-hmm.
really giving, company, because I mean, we know, like, we hear about breaches all the time, so hopefully privacy.com won't get breached, but you can
That'd be a
stop giving
story.
other company, right? Yeah. But then you can stop giving your actual like bank details, to like a million companies, especially if you're just going to buy something once, so I thought that it was a cool idea. I was just wanted to like pay that forward and share. I don't know.
Yeah, I didn't think about it in terms of budgeting. I might have to look into it.
Yeah, I think it's cool because then whenever I think your that balance gets low or whatever, I'm sure they can get like a notification, then go in and recharge that card. And
So what?
yeah,
Do you just get
so
an email? Like, do you get an email from the company that tried to charge you again, saying like, "Hey, like you didn't have sufficient funds"? Um, like what
I
happens? I
mean,
don't know.
I think you might, but like it also, I guess, depends on. I mean, you can use like a fake email if you're just doing a free trial, or like a temporary email, for like a free trial or something, but you won't have to worry about canceling, free trials. Because I mean, that resonated with me,
True.
the service, because I'm all for, get, like a free week here just to see how you like it, but you have to put your credit card in to get that free week. So I have to put it on my calendar, maybe like the day before the next charge is supposed to go through, to remind myself to cancel it so I don't pay for it, because I just wanted to like check it out. And it's happened once or twice when I forgot to go in and, and like cancel it. So this would kind of solve that problem.
Okay, so the I have the pricing up here. So for $0 per month forever, you can create up to 12 cards per month, which seems
Oh.
like plenty. That's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you get the browser extension. You can set spend limits, pause and close cards, secure merchant locked and single use cards. So that's everything I need. But and you get access to your personal data through their API.
Look at that. Isn't that
There you
neat?
go. That's
The
cool as hell.
browser extension is one thing that he showed on his channel. And it's cool because, it just like auto fills, like you select which credit card you want to use for that purchase.
Hmm.
And it auto fills like all the fields for you. It's, it's a, like, it's pretty smart. And I thought that it was kind of cool and convenient, so
I'm gonna get.
I know. Yeah. I didn't know that it was free. So now I'm definitely gonna get it. It sounds really cool.
I'm signing up right now.
I'm glad I convinced you.
There's definitely been so many times where I'm like, oh, that looks so cool. I want to try it. But yeah, it's always like the whenever the credit card gets up, I'm like, I'm gonna forget. And then like
Right.
I get to this point where like I'm paying for whatever the thing is that I tried that I don't need, but like
Mm-hmm.
I get to the point where like I don't care.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I'm just like,
Yeah.
okay, whatever. It's whatever. I'll
Two
just keep paying
dollars.
for it.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing, like I said, it slipped like a couple of times with me with like free trials and all that stuff. I feel like that's how they always get you. They're betting that you're gonna forget about that thing you signed up for that you've been paying for like 5 years and you don't even use. I'm sure that's way more common than people think. So I don't want to be giving away free money if I'm not using a service.
Hmm.
But yeah, I thought that that was an interesting idea. And there might be like even other uses that you can, like is like you said, for budgeting and for free trials. Obviously for security, and yeah, it's pretty neat. And we're developers. We get to use their API. Yay.
Yeah, exactly. Well, in doing this, because I literally just signed up. You know how when you connect your bank account to things, it's like you have to get the routing number and the whatever, the account number, like that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
So they use this thing called Plaid, which I've never heard of.
Yeah, Plaid
You know what I'm
is
talking about?
pretty huge. Yeah. I've used Plaid a couple of times to connect like my bank info. Isn't that what Coinbase uses?
Oh, that might be what it is. I've never used it, so
I've used it a few times to connect to my bank, like Bank of America or Chase or whatever.
so convenient. Wow. Damn, I get mad though when I see that stuff because it's like it's so simple. I know it's hard to make, but it's like so simple. Like, why didn't I think of that?
Yeah, honestly, I'm glad that I remembered it because I was going to just, keep talking about the app that I built, but that's way more interesting and something that other people can use. I just came across it like yesterday or the day before. So check it out, peeps. Victor
Yeah,
already signed up.
I know, literally just now while we talked. So thank you, Anna. I don't have any news, I feel like CSAM was the news. So
yeah, same here. Just kind of, go with the flow. I think, oh yes, I think when I was reading on Mac rumors recently, new MacBooks are going into production as well as new iPhones. So I'm excited to see, what the like fall events that Apple have to see if we'll find out more about the specs of those. Because I am excited to upgrade my laptop. I think mine is already 5 years old. Well, I bought it, like a year after it was developed, like a year after it was released. So the technology is like 6 years old, so I think that's like eons. I'm excited to get my hands in one of the A2 chip, which I think they're going to come out with. So
no more tuition payments. You can just get a laptop.
Right. Yeah.
Graduation present to you.
Yeah, no, that's what I was thinking. I was like, I'm happy with like everything else. Luckily, my car is still pretty good. I can get by with, my little Corolla. And I think I'm gonna, treat myself to a new computer because I feel like, I love doing this stuff. So if I get myself a new computer, I will use it. And more than like video game consoles, really. So, for me, it's worth it. So I think that's what I'm gonna be getting myself for, graduation / Christmas, since it's gonna be like the week before Christmas.
And then you could do the PC build.
Yes. That. Oh yeah. I know that it's so hard to get hands on, a lot of components right now, but it's definitely on my to-do list, especially because I want to have a Linux build or a dual boot. So I want to have all OSs pretty much.
Yeah, I feel you. I feel like that's the best way to go. I know Joma, that guy. I know he has like one desk for his like Mac stuff and then one desk for his PC sort of stuff.
Right.
Unfortunately for me, I'm, in a small apartment with not much room to do that, but I do have a drawer with all my laptops. But I do want to do like a legit PC build because I think that'd be kind of cool to just building it would be the most exciting part for me, I think. But then eventually I'd be able to do some stuff I couldn't do here. So.
Yeah, that's where I am too. And I have been using Windows, every day at work since the beginning of the year. So I feel more comfortable with it. And but I think I want to have all three. I love my Mac. But there is a place, for Windows. If I build, a PC, I'm gonna make it into a dual boot and probably have, Windows and Ubuntu to start, because I feel like that's from what I've watched, and read, that's like the easiest like plug and play. There are other like distributions of Linux that can be a lot more customizable, but I think that to start, Ubuntu will be cool.
Yeah. Well, I'm sorry, Anna. We're out of time. That was too nerdy for me. We gotta go. Peace.
Bye.